Hello, hello, hello. What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. This is Tidbits, that show on fun speculation where we go through the week ahead in gaming, what is coming out this week. And I want to say thank you to Fuzzy, as always, for joining me here. What's up, Fuzzy? How you doing?
Hey, how's it going? Definitely looking forward to this week in games. I think there's one that may not make the list, but we'll get early access to. But there's so many good things happening this week, and it's only Monday, so
Yeah.
let's get into it.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And we got more news to talk about, too, because on the show, if there's something worthy of speaking it on news-wise, we're definitely going to touch on it. And there's definitely something worthy news-wise this week. So that's going to
Yeah,
happen too. But let's get through these games releasing first. Because there's really not that much. This is one of those, hey, Call of Duty's coming out, so let's not release any big games this week type of week, right?
yeah,
That's the way it looks and appears. There's a couple things that are noteworthy on here, so we're gonna go through them and see what is here. And let's see here. I'm gonna share my screen. Bum, bum, bum. Here we go. We got starting out strong. Well, strong if you're a Fortnite fan. Is the Fortnite Minty Legends pack. I honestly have no clue what this is. Is this just DLC
I think
or
so.
something they're releasing physically for to be in stores possibly?
I think it's mainly just more skins. I don't know if it's relating to like minty gum or minty candy or a mixture of old characters with gum. I
Minty. It looks like all the characters are teal colored. They got teal eyes or something. I think minty colored eyes and stuff like that. It's just skins. I
yeah.
see boxes are physical for this. I think this is, just an eye-catching way of, hey, giving parents something to get their kiddos for Christmas that they can unwrap under the tree. That's kind of what this looks like to me.
Yeah.
$30, you get the Minty Legends pack. So okay, I said starting out strong. I was wrong. That was not starting out strong. Hey baby, how's it going? Hey General C. Hey Outbreak, how are you guys doing? I hope you're having an awesome day. All right, Tunchi is the next
Mhm.
game, and it's coming out for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC.
Nice.
And it is a little indie platformer looking thing, is what it looks
Mhm.
like. I'm guessing from the box art. I know I'm not supposed to judge a book by its cover. We're gonna play. I'm gonna play this little video here, and we can see what it is. Um, all right.
Interesting.
Yeah. And oh, didn't we see this before? No, I remember this. This was at an indie showcase before, and it kind of stood out at the time. And I remember thinking it looked like a Dora the Explorer like RPG.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like a
Yeah.
hack and slash adventure game, like side scroller brawler.
Yeah. Definitely a good game for like on the go, like on a Switch and stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't remember where I saw this at. It may have been actually at a Switch indie showcase. Um, for me, you know what this game screams?
What's that?
It screams xCloud. I want to play
Yeah.
this on my phone on xCloud. I don't know if it's happening or not, but that's the way I would actually try this if it
Mhm.
ever happens. Like I'd be out waiting for somebody. Oh, this little side scroller brawler, right? Pop, put it on my phone. Bring it up. access it that way.
Yeah.
It looks cool.
Yeah, it's definitely something like I like playing those style games when, like, if I'm taking in my vehicle for an oil change, I'm in the waiting room because, yeah, I'm arthritis in the hands, can't really do my
Yeah.
own oil changes in the driveway anymore. But yeah, it's perfect, like while you're in a waiting room or while you're in line at the checkout at the grocery store or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
So you used to
Cool
do your
looking
own
and
oil
neat.
changes, Fuzzy?
I used to. I'm car enthusiast,
Yeah.
Jeep owner, still a Jeep owner. And Jeeps were one of those things where it was easy enough to change the oil without using jack stands.
Yeah.
Probably not the safest way to do it, but yeah, for the most part, that was one of those things I used to do. And then it's like I always used to like poke fun at those that would go and get their oil changed. Now it's like, you know what? I'd rather just pay somebody 15, 20
Yeah.
bucks or get the free oil change from Jeep and be like, hey, change my oil. I'll sit here and drink your coffee and play some video games in the waiting room type of thing.
So I
But,
attempted to change my own oil one time, Fuzzy.
mm,
I accidentally drained the transmission fluid
ooh,
instead of the oil. And I put the new oil on top of the old oil,
ooh.
not really knowing that it was going to that what I was doing. Like basically I had double the amount of oil that I was supposed to have in the car, as
Mm-hmm.
well as I had no transmission fluid. And so it's like, what? Why? What's going on? Why is it running so weird? You know?
Hey, we've
Um,
all been there with like our first time oil changes.
yeah,
Mine was just my first vehicle was a 97 Wrangler. And I kept hearing, like, I worked at a place where we customized Jeep. So it's like, oh, yeah, change your own oil. You don't even need a jack stand. Just get under there, do this, do that, undo this bolt. And it's like, yeah, nobody tells you. It's like, you want to do that slowly so it doesn't just like splatter all on your arm or
yeah,
face. Make sure the vehicle's been off for a good bit so it's all cool. And yeah, it's always fun the first time around, but usually at that point, it's like you're either going to want to take it somewhere because it's like it's too much of a headache,
yeah,
or it's like, it's this isn't too bad and it saves you a few bucks, but it's like nowadays I look at it, it's so much easier just taking it to a shop. It's
yeah.
more relaxing.
I wish there was like just clear idiot-proof instructions like written all over the car. You know what I mean? Like, here, open this to let out old oil, right? That was
No,
not less than 2 years ago. We lived in the townhouse. That was like 10 years ago.
yeah.
10 years ago. That was before we even had our daughter. So it was like 12 years ago. 12 years ago or so.
Mhm.
But I was an adult. So I had no excuse. Um, all right. Unpacking. Unpacking is, I don't know what it is. Let's find out what it is. I know that my wife saw this game and was like, ooh, what's this? So
Mhm.
Xbox One, Switch, and PC.
And I,
Let's see here.
and I think it comes to Game Pass day and date too.
Yeah. All right. So this is a Zen puzzle game about unpacking a life. Now on Steam, Switch, Xbox One, Humble Store, and GOG. So it's coming out on everything. Again. Oh, I didn't see PlayStation. Yeah, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Okay. All right, let's
It's
check.
probably one of
Let's
those
check
that
out
may
this trailer.
eventually come, but yeah, this it's one of those relaxing style games.
Yeah, a little. Looks like a flash game almost.
Yeah.
Um. Oh, yeah. My wife's gonna like this. I can already tell you. Now, when we've moved several times, and I
Mhm.
don't do this. Sup OC. Sorry, K Asante. Sup Shizno. And I know you already here. You've been already been here, OCD gamer. But what's up to you as well? Um, Shizno says, I remember the first time you changed your own oil and ended up sticking a screwdriver through the filter just to get
Oof.
the thing off. Last
Yeah.
person didn't lube the seal.
Ah.
Ah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's that frustrating part that first time around, and it's like it just no one prepares you for those things.
Yeah. So I want to know is this same say Game Pass as well, babe? So we don't even have to pay for it. I'm curious, would you play something like this on the Switch? Um, this is like a time killer,
Yeah.
you know, relaxation thing, like you're saying. I see chickens. You got to unpack chickens. Okay, right on.
No, I think this is like perfect for anyone that has like kids going to like away for school or going to college for the first time. It's like, oh yeah, remember all that stuff that you're trying to pack up neatly? Yeah, this is a way you can prepare yourself when you get to your dorm
Yeah.
room type of thing.
Cool. I like it. Unpacking. I'm sure that comes out tomorrow. I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of that. Look out for my wife, my wife Kate's fire unpacking streams on Twitch.
Nice.
Yeah, she says she would never play something on the Switch if it's available on the Xbox. Yeah, you just want to play with that Xbox controller, I'm sure. All right, World War Z is coming to Switch. This is you guys already familiar with World War Z. Not gonna spend a lot of time on that. It's been around the block a time or two. Now it's finally making its way to Switch. All right.
I'm surprised it can run on the Switch, but I'm wondering if it's a cloud or native.
I have no idea. It's very interesting that it's on the Switch. Now they managed to put The Witcher 3 on the Switch. They managed to put
Yeah.
Skyrim on the Switch, right? So are they the best versions of the games? No, right?
No.
But they work. A game that I always had liked to play on the Switch was Diablo 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can have like some good experiences, but like this one's kind of interesting. Like it's first person shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Going through hordes of zombies, and it's a co-op shooter too, right? So
Yeah.
like I don't know, just don't see a lot of games like this come to the Switch, so it'll be very interesting to see how that does.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Bloodshore. Now I was telling you, hey, this one catches my eye because of the box art, and then you kind of disappointed me telling me what the game was.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's all right, Fuzzy. Bloodshore. All right. So PlayStation 5, Series X, S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, PC, iOS, Android, literally everything known to man, except for Stadia. This game's coming to. It's an interactive battle royale film coming in November. It says interactive film. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the screenshot and I am already not excited for this. Okay.
Well, they at least have like at least a good 8 hours of, I believe, film mixed within it. So depending on your choices, you're probably going to get at least a good 2 to 4 hours of gameplay on the first playthrough. So it's definitely one of those you got to probably try a couple of different, approaches and see if you can get, I guess, all of the endings. I don't know if they have like a good, bad, and like a director's cut ending or anything like that you have to unlock. But these games sometimes are kind of cool for, I wouldn't say couch co-op, but like one of those couch type games before you do like a Netflix and chill. You can kind of do a Netflix type game and chill type of deal.
Yeah. It's looks like extra cheesy. What's up, Doom Reaper? So this is basically a Fortnite PUBG thing. They all land on the island and they have to kill each other. Okay, choose your path. Yeah, I mean, this could be fun, like making these decisions and just seeing what happens, or it could be extremely bad. The production value seems like interesting.
Hmm.
I don't know what to say. What's up, Tony? How's it going?
It
It
reminds
like
me of
it
some of the PUBG like YouTube creator videos that I've seen that have like a little bit higher production value. It kind of reminds me of that, where it's like, oh, they get in the car and then they show the glitch where it's like you go to get in the car and then you're outside the car and then you're in the car type of thing, but
right.
without the glitches. This kind of looks like it has that a little bit of comedy, a little bit of action all mixed into it type of thing.
It's worth a try. I'm not gonna just say like, hey, this I'm never gonna try this. Like I think like if I had the opportunity to try it, I definitely would.
Mhm.
It's definitely not on my radar. It's something I'm excited about.
Yeah,
But you know what it reminds me of, production wise? You remember like the old Command and Conquer cinematics,
yeah,
with Kane and all those guys,
yeah.
Tanya and Nod and GDI and those. It kind of reminds me of the acting from those. Let's see. Does it tell me how much it is here? No, it's not available on the GameStop's website.
GameStop's like, we're not carrying that. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
It looks like they have like a lot of these type of things. It's the
They've
home of
had
Wales Interactive. Wales is
Yeah,
the
they've
name.
had some good ones in the past. There was like kind of like an outbreak one a while back, like a spy one a while back, like early on, or about I would say early to midpoint of like the PS4 and Xbox One generation. They had a couple of good ones there.
Okay. All right. Well, Made of Skur. I've heard of that. That one's got some. Well, on their website, they have a few good reviews. They don't say
Yeah,
the publications where those are from, but like, I think I've heard of that Made of Skur.
yeah.
So hey, we'll see. Uh, Bloodshore. Intriguing.
Mhm.
The fact that it is on mobile as well leads me to believe it's probably not that expensive.
Yeah.
All right, now guys, the game that you've all been waiting for. Made of Skur was a Games with Gold. I wonder if I have that installed.
Nice.
Um, the game that we've all been waiting for, Just Dance 2022. It's finally here. Ubisoft releasing their big title for the year. Um, are you a Just Dance fan?
Uh, not particularly.
No.
Like I always get a kick out of seeing like the trailers or some of the videos that people make of it. It just kind of
Mm-hmm.
reminds me of like the USA Network commercials for like kid pop songs or something like that sometimes.
Right.
But it's I've I think it's more of an age thing for me. It's like when those things were first coming out, it's like, yeah, I'm not playing that. It's just not for me. But I can totally see a lot of people having fun with this, whether it be a party or just, doing some of the dance moves in the game and things like that.
Yeah. Been an extremely successful franchise for a long time.
Yeah.
Um, it's on the Switch, Series X, PS4, and PS5. That's what it says on the website for GameStop. Xbox One as well. So coming out everywhere, $50. You could your kids could be into worse games for sure. I think
Mhm.
Just Dance is kind of like a great family game,
Yeah.
and if you got kids that have friends and stuff like that, I think it's harmless.
Yeah.
Um, uh, well
It's a
made,
good party control game
yeah.
when you have like sleepovers or something like that.
All right, Binding of Isaac Repentance. It's only on the Series X and S. No, it's not. It's only releasing this week on the Series X and S. It's released on PC back in March
Mhm.
and coming later to PS5, PS4, and Switch. Okay. So this is Binding of Isaac. Is this like a everything included edition, or is this like a sequel?
I think this is a sequel because I knew there was one that was like Afterbirth or something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Cool. There's Binding of Isaac has a lot of fans, right?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people that are probably really excited about this.
Mm-hmm.
Binding of Isaac, Repentance. Hey, game over Gray. What's up, Louie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that Sega news. This is a fire trailer. I hate trailers like this. I'll be honest with you. It's like
They don't really show the game. It's like the lead up to it.
ah, what's wrong? Okay, physical editions with full color manuals and reversible cover thingies. Cool. It's gonna be physical editions for this game. All right. Binding of Isaac, Repentance. Man, I'm telling you guys, this is like a week. This is a week. The Call of Duty's coming out. Everybody's steers clear. You know, so you have some indie type games. You have some random games like being ported to other platforms. You know, you got family games. You don't have any other really big releases, but it's okay. We're here to discover these games and show them to you. I think Binding of Isaac is something that a lot of people are going to play though and enjoy. Where Cards Fall on Switch and PC. What is this, Fuzzy?
I think it's kind of like a 3/4 view puzzle type game.
3/4 view puzzle. Okay. So this already came out on mobile a couple years ago in 2019 on Apple. And now it's finally making its way to Switch and PC. So we'll check it out. Where Cards Fall. Sometimes the games like this surprise me.
Yeah.
Building a house of cards, maybe? From the creators of Blaseball. It looks like it's a platform puzzle game. Oh, it's a coming of age story. This looks like something I could enjoy on mobile.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shizno. Looking forward to that too. We see this character walking into rooms. And yeah, platformy puzzle game. Looks pretty cool. Coming to Switch and PC. Switch, that's something that I think a lot of people could enjoy on there as well, right?
Yeah.
PC, but good platform choices for that, I would say. Again, I would like to play it on xCloud. You know, a Game Pass on xCloud. If it ever comes onto there, I'll try it.
Yeah.
Doom Reaper says, "Do you think there's any reason Elden Ring isn't available for pre-order on Xbox yet?" Dude, like, for some reason, that happens all the time, where just games don't show up for pre-order. I have no idea why, but it's something that's dating back to digital games being released, and sometimes don't even show in the coming soon area, you know?
Hmm.
And it's like, I don't know why that happens, but it happens frequently. So I don't think there's anything like to look into that or whatever. But I've noticed it for a long time with random games.
When it
Um,
comes to selling digital media, I think there's a 90-day window that the item has to be readily available. And sometimes they go beyond that. And I think the last time I saw Xbox kind of allow something in the store that was beyond 90 days was the infamous Cyberpunk 2077. Like I remember that being in the store for almost a year in advance of when it was going to be. But
yeah,
sometimes they surprise us and have it where it comes to Game Pass, or sometimes there's other tie-ins. Like perfect example, I think Scarlet Nexus had this where they didn't want to put it in too early because they were going to make it part of their like Microsoft rewards, where if you bought the game you got 6,000 points, and if somebody pre-orders it, like let's say in July, as opposed to waiting until August or September, and they don't get that, it's kind of like, well, do you refund them or have them cancel that pre-order and then reorder it or something along those lines? So sometimes they withhold it to match up with all of their marketing stuff. Other times it's just a matter of, hey, it's beyond 90 days. They have a penciled in date. It's not confirmed completely just yet or certed or something. So they may hold off until almost like the last minute.
right. Yeah. Well, there you have it. The knowledgeable Fuzzy gives great answers as usual. Um. All right. So next up, everybody, Happy Home Paradise DLC coming to Animal Crossing New Horizons. Yes. If you're into this, if you're into Animal Crossing, I know there's a lot of people that are actually very, very excited for this. This is the big
Yeah.
thing this holiday on the Switch. Um, are you excited for this, Fuzzy?
Not as much, only because I don't have a Switch at the current moment, but I do know that this was one of those items where you can either buy the DLC, I think, separately.
Yeah,
It
or
was
it
like the
came with
first,
that new Switch Online expansion as well.
yeah. So that's pretty cool. That this is, I guess, the first one of their paid DLCs, and then they have the expansion for their online. Although I know there's a handful of people that are like, why do I have to pay for the DLC now?
Yeah.
But I think they gave us like a year's worth of DLC included previously, during the whole, 2020 time frame.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big it's a big DLC. It's not just like a little DLC. I think it's $25 standalone though.
Mm-hmm.
Sizable for this game. Um I I don't even know what it's. Happy Home Paradise. What do you do in Happy Home Paradise? It's almost like a whole nother area, possibly.
Yeah. I guess it's geared to be more of like vacation home level stuff, or like
Yeah.
above and beyond, like
Yeah,
arcades and bowling alleys or something like that in the house type of deal.
help characters acquire their dream vacation home. This is going to
Yeah.
add so much content for all those that are like really into Animal Crossing. And there's
Mm-hmm.
people that like play every day because they got to like do their activities, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just imagine how much this is going to add for everybody.
Yeah.
Select an island for a vacation home, it says. Oh, I wouldn't want that one. I wouldn't want the snow one.
You don't like the cold? Yeah,
No,
ice
no, not like
fishing,
for
building snowmen.
vacation. I don't want to be freezing my ass off on vacation. Like, we don't get that much of it here, and
Mm,
I always just think, hey, I want to live somewhere where it gets cold, right? Until you
yeah,
stay somewhere where it gets cold for like more than a week, right? And if you
yeah,
stay somewhere where it gets that cold for any extended period of time, you don't even want to go outside. Like
yeah.
Like, especially if you're not used to the cold, right? Like, I think people that are like climatized to those areas, right, have an easier time, right?
Yeah.
But me, I've lived in Texas my whole life, and
Hmm.
you go outside when it's 4 degrees, right?
Hmm.
I'm talking Fahrenheit, people, like from the UK. 4 degrees is like barely above zero, and our freezing
Yeah.
temperature is 32,
Yeah.
right? So it's 32 degrees, it's freezing, right? That means water will turn to ice at 32 degrees. And if you're talking like 4 degrees, right? You go outside, it feels like your face got bit, you know?
Yeah.
Literally, like an animal bites your face the second you step outside, or you get slapped. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
want to go outside feeling like I get slapped, and then you got to wait for feeling to come back to your feet when you get inside. I don't want
That
that's
is the
not
worst part.
vacation to me.
The only thing I think of, like, when it's cold like that, like around the holiday times, it's kind of cool. But it's like you said, it might be one of those things where it's nice to visit, but yeah, no long period stay. But living in the Northeast, it's kind of like you grow accustomed to it, and you just kind of look forward to things like either the eggnog or the hot chocolate. So it's like one of
Yeah,
those two things kind of get you through. But it's like all the other stuff, like frostbite, uh, freezer burn. Well, not freezer burn, but like the wind burn and stuff like that. If it's pretty windy out there, yeah, that stuff is not as much fun unless you're on a snowmobile, and then at that point you don't feel your face anymore. But
yeah,
yeah, that's I could see it.
yeah. The crazy thing is, like, so my wife's from Vermont, right?
Mhm.
It gets cold there. They get like all the snow. The other aspect is, okay, I want to go to the store. Oh, but it snowed last night. Oh, let me go outside and spend an hour trying to reveal my car just to make it accessible. Oh, then let
Yeah.
me chisel away the ice. Oh, but first, actually, before I even do that, I have to shovel this foot of snow out of the way so I can actually even walk to the car. And all you want to do is go get some bacon, you know? No.
Yeah.
Then you're driving, the salt in the roads like shreds your car up into
Yeah.
makes it not last. Like I don't know. Not for me. Never want to live somewhere where it's cold. That's like my hell. So,
Yeah.
all right, that trailer for the New Horizons DLC was like looked like it was 30 minutes long. So I kind of just skipped through it there. A lot of content coming. If you're excited about that, if you like Animal Crossing, um, this is going to be a big deal for you. All right, so Call of Duty Vanguard is the big one this week,
Yeah.
Fuzzy. That's why everything else this week is so there, right? But guess what? To me, Call of Duty Vanguard thus far has been there. I've never once in my life not bought a Call of Duty game since Call of Duty 3. Since Call of Duty 3 at launch, because I didn't
Hmm.
have a 360 at Call of Duty 2. When Call of Duty 2 came out, I didn't have my 360 at launch because I was one of the people trying to get one. And you couldn't get one anywhere, so I was like
Yeah.
calling Best Buy every time that they got 360s in, trying to get one. I got one months down the line, but Call of Duty 2 I think was a launch title.
Hmm.
So I didn't get that at launch, but I got it when it came out. Call of Duty 3 got a launch. Every single Call of Duty ever since I've gotten at launch. This may be the first time since I'm not getting a Call of Duty at launch.
Yeah.
I don't know where you stand on this. Are you excited about it, or?
I'm kind of in the same boat. Like, I had already kind of written it off. Like, while I do like World War II history stuff, I'm a little not exhausted, but I'm kind of on like earlier day war frame or wartime time frames
Yeah.
at this moment. So when they announced that it was going to be like towards the end of like World War II and so forth, I kind of was like, I'll see what it has to offer, but I'm probably going to pass. my sons are big into Call of Duty. Like they were just playing Warzone and doing kill streaks and whatnot yesterday.
Yeah.
And this is the first Call of Duty that they're not even excited about. They're like, I'm like, do you want me to
Kind of getting
pre-order
sick
it?
of
They're
it.
like, It's like, so this is going to be the first one that's probably going to wait until like the Black Friday sale when it's either 50% off or something to that effect,
Yeah.
where it's like buy 3 get 1 free. And that'll probably be when we pick it up type of deal. But for right now, Insurgency's got my attention, Battlefield's got my attention, and Halo's got my attention. But
There's
Vanguard is
there's 3 main reasons that are kind of making me hesitant on Vanguard. One is the price.
yeah.
Right? It's $70. It's still, I know, guys. I rant about this a lot. I don't like paying $70 for games when I know that it's not necessary.
Mhm.
Right? You can't tell me it's necessary. Right? For especially Call of Duty and stuff like that. Right? I'm not a fan of it. There's nothing here that makes me feel like I need to pay $70 as opposed to $60.
The executives got to get their yachts, you know.
Yeah. So that's one thing. It's just that extra. I mean, it's a lot of money, around the holidays to be coughing up for games and stuff. There's a lot of things coming out too, and you got to kind of pick what you want, right? So $70 just makes it that much a little bit harder of a choice for me. Secondly, I played the beta.
Mm.
And if you played the beta, you'll know, like it was in a rough state. I don't know if it's gonna stay in that place, right?
Mhm.
But I hope it doesn't, because it was really rough. And I know that people say it's a beta, right? It's a beta. Well, Battlefield's beta was also really rough, right? So you can say, there's some comparisons between there. Out of the two, I think Vanguard's was actually worse. And if you've seen the videos out there from Battlefields, then you understand that what I experienced. And I played the Vanguard beta on PS5. The third reason is the World War II aspect.
Yeah.
It's just like I like it, but I'm kind of like kind of over it. You know what I mean? It just doesn't feel new enough for me.
Yeah.
And we'll see. I think that it has potential, and there's one more reason too. I'll give you my fourth. Call of Duty Cold War Black Ops is still broken for me. I bought that a year ago, day one, right? I begrudgingly paid the $70.
Yeah.
And it still crashes. It still has issues all the time. And every time I reinstall it to attempt to play it, something happens. And last time my Xbox shut off because it said it was getting too hot. It's never happened before. That's just like insane. So I'm just leery about their ability to optimize their games and make them run properly and well, So we'll see. I'll end up having this game eventually, I bet. My wife likes Call of Duty, and just looking for a shooter to play. You get that itch. Probably gonna get it at some point, but I don't know if I'm gonna get it at launch. We'll see. We'll see if I can stave off the itch.
No, once my sons let me know that they're going to want it because their friends are playing it or something along those lines, then that's probably when I'll pick it up. But I'm hoping for something on Black Friday. But they're right in the chat. They take forever to drop prices, and I remember not too long ago buying, I think it was Modern Warfare 3 or Modern Warfare 2, the 360 back compat, and the thing is still like $50. So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, they do tend to take forever to price drop. But yeah, my sons were saying when they played the beta, it was a little laggy for them. And I'll admit I'm not the best, first person shooter, but just seeing how they slide, twitch, move, and 360 no scope and all that stuff, it's like, yeah, if they're telling me it's lagging, I can understand why they want me to hold off at this point. But
Yeah.
it'll eventually be in the library, just not day one.
I think part of the issues with the beta that I tried was like it it just like it felt really generic, like more than other ones. For some reason, like the map design, everything just seemed kind of like okay, like it's not doing anything special, right?
Mhm.
Um, and then you had all the glitches and stuff, and just visually unimpressive completely. Now maybe they had it at like low detail or something, right? That
Mhm.
hurt the experience for the beta. I'm not sure, but like with the Battlefield beta, like yeah, they had a lot of rough situations with like some of the bugs and stuff that they're going on. But I
Mhm.
could see that once all that's fixed, I see a good vision for the game, right?
Yeah.
With this, it was like, okay, I didn't really see a good vision for it, right? Maybe the campaign will be that, I don't know. We'll see. Um, Again, like I'll wait and pick it up a little bit later, right?
Mhm.
And I don't anticipate it going on sale for very cheap either, so that's not going to really help. Um, yeah, as Tony Grasso says, Black Ops 2 is still $50. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. All right, we got one more hot release this week, and then we can get into this news fuzzy.
Mhm.
Let's Build a Zoo. It's coming to PC on the 5th.
Mhm.
Are you a Let's Build a Zoo fan?
It's kind of new to me because when I looked at it earlier, I've never really seen this particular 8-bit style top view game. Like I kind of figured it was going to be kind of like an amusement park ride builder thing,
Yeah.
but just more of a 8-bit style. Looks kind of cool, but
It reminds me of Two Point Hospital a little bit, like,
mm,
but Zoo with 8-bit graphics.
yeah.
It could be cool, like some of these games can be addicting, and you never know what's going to take off,
Hmm.
right? Sometimes a game like this, okay, like just random little release, and then it releases and it's like the most played game in for over a year. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
whoever knows. It looks pretty cool. I'm not saying it's going to do that at all, but like I think it's got potential. It's
Yeah.
releasing on PC. It looks like it's got a cool style. I could
Hmm.
see my daughter having a lot of fun with this for sure.
Yeah.
So we build a zoo. All right. How much is it? It is, I don't know. How do you see the price on Steam? Like
Do they have like different editions of it, or?
I think I have to sign in, but no
Uh,
well. All right. That's it for the game releases, everybody. Again, not a lot this week. Besides Call of Duty, Just Dance, then you got some indie games and
mhm.
you got some ports. Animal Crossing's DLC.
Yeah.
Um Now as Fuzzy was explaining to me, and early access to Forza Horizon 5 is this week,
Yes.
right? So for a lot of people, that's the game. I forget. Do you get access to that with like Game Pass Ultimate? You don't, right? You have to buy the game for that.
Yeah, you have to buy like the ultimate add-on pack, or just buy the complete ultimate edition. So if you're a Game Pass subscriber, whether you're a standard subscriber or ultimate subscriber, pick up the ultimate add-on pack. I think they even have it on sale where it's 45 instead of the normal 50.
Yeah.
Um, and then if you're not a Game Pass subscriber, look to pick up the Ultimate Edition of the game, which I think goes for like $99.99. And the key thing with that, you get the 2 expansions, which is usually like a destination or like an add-on island or location. And then the other one is something brand related, like either Legos or Hot Wheels or something. Well, I don't think they're going to repeat those, but something along those lines. You usually get VIP access, which gives you like 2 cars for 8 weeks or more on top of the ones you get. And if you've played any other Forzas prior, I think as far back as Forza Motorsport 5 or Forza Horizon, the original, on up to Horizon 4 or Motorsport 7, you'll get some free cars to start off with. So they give you some pretty decent hypercars to begin with, like the equivalent of the cover cars on the box art for those previous games. And then there's a few more things. I think you get like a free house, and you get a few other perks. You probably get some like special edition Horizon wear for your avatar, and a few other things. And they usually have it where you'll get like bonus money and bonus wheel spins weekly and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's, if you're into Forza, the Ultimate Edition is definitely the way to go. And you get the 4-day early access, so that's always fun as well too.
And that is what, it's $100, right?
Yeah. For non-subscribers, $100. For subscribers, it's $45 right now.
Cool. If you're looking to upgrade it, I think it'd be it's definitely worth it. I've done it before on like Forza Horizon 4 and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You just like if you're planning on playing the heck out of the game, I think it has its value, right? Yeah. So, and we'll talk about Forza Horizon 5 more next week on TIDBITS, because that'll be the official launch week, right? So
yeah,
I wouldn't get it necessarily just because you get to play it a few days early, but all the other content is definitely worth it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. By the way, Forza Horizon 5, 491 cars at launch.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And I try to collect them all. I think I'm only missing 2 cars in Horizon 4, but it's taken me a while to even get that far. Like I got 740 or 741 cars, something along those lines. And yes, I've driven each one of them at least once and have a tune or at least adjusted something on it, whether it be the paint scheme or the tune on it. Although I think you have a limitation on how many tunes you could put per car type of thing. So, but yeah, if you've looked at my hours in Forza, I think it's like 80 days. It's something ridiculous.
Yeah. It's crazy. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to play it. But Fuzzy, it's news time now. TIDBITS, we've struck out a lot where there hasn't been really anything worth mentioning.
Mm-hmm.
And this week, is it more the same? Is it more the same, or do we have something worth talking about today on TIDBITS?
Oh, we definitely have something worth talking about.
I think so.
Especially me being a Sega kid growing up. Yeah, there's some news to talk about. Now, it's hard to say exactly where everything will lead, but a strategic, alliance. I know on the front end of things, it's going to be Sega getting, or using Azure servers for probably a service of their own type of thing. They, I guess, diversed the Sega Arcade over in Japan. So if they're looking to do something more mobile, in Japan directly, then, Microsoft is probably going to be that partner that they're going to want to have for that. On the Xbox and PC end of things, especially with Sarah Bond saying something, I think we're going to see some things possibly in Game Pass or maybe something beyond just Game Pass related. But I know there's a handful of people on Twitter like, oh, it's nothing big. It's, it's just an alliance. They have an alliance, or Sony has an alliance with Microsoft as well for the Azure servers. But I think there's more to it, especially when certain executives are talking about it. So
Yeah. Definitely a lot going on here. Now, Sega is a company that has partnered with lots of people before, right? Like for different things.
mhm.
They've worked with Xbox, and like Creative Assembly is a subdivision of Sega, and Creative Assembly made Halo Wars 2, right?
Yeah.
So to think that they don't have a relationship of working together and all these things is like, come on, yeah, they do, right? And it dates all the way back to the Dreamcast and before,
Mhm.
right? With them, with a working relationship. So I want to get into like exactly what was said here real quick, just so people know what we're talking about. If you've been living under a rock the last 12 hours or so, when this news dropped, when it became daytime in Japan, is when this news officially hit for Monday. And Sega had a press release, and it said Sega and Microsoft to explore strategic alliance to create new strategic. This is the other key thing that a lot of people are missing when they're discussing this. Form to explore an alliance to create new strategic titles for Sega and establish a next generation development environment. So this is about strengthening the development abilities
Mhm.
of Sega, focusing on the future of game development, which is cloud development and a lot of that kind of stuff, right? And
Yeah.
not just like games being played in the cloud, but also being developed in the cloud, right?
Yeah.
Um, but also they're using this as a way to create the games that they are referring to as super games, which is their initiative. So this is Sega Corporation, here and after referred to as Sega, and Microsoft Corporation, here and after referred to as Microsoft, have agreed in principle a strategic alliance that explores ways for Sega to produce large-scale global games in a next-generation development environment. Built on Microsoft's Azure cloud platform, the alliance would form a key part of Sega's mid to long-term strategy. So they're not talking about coming soon stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
They're talking about mid to long term, like as Phil Spencer and stuff, and a lot of the Matt Booty had discussed even in their interviews. The way they kind of look at things is like, hey, short term, mid term, and long term when they're looking at their portfolio, their businesses, and what's coming up, right? So
Mhm.
they're looking at mid to long term, allowing the business to move forward with Super Game, a new initiative for developing new and innovative titles where the key focuses are global online community and IP utilization. That's the interesting thing for me, IP utilization. So,
Mhm.
like, I think that there was another thing about 2017 that Obsidian even shared where they had mentioned wanting to bring back their IPs Sega had.
Yeah.
So found that very interesting as well. Um, Sega goes on to say, or this news uh, announcement, whatever it is, as says the press briefing says, with the world now more connected than ever following the widespread deployment of 5G and cloud services in recent years, consumers can more easily enjoy high quality entertainment content at any time. Within this highly connected environment, the ecosystem surrounding the games industry continues to evolve and expand as more sophisticated tools and technologies become available. As such, so examples of that would be xCloud,
Mhm.
Game Pass, cloud gaming,
Yeah.
right? Also, the game development stuff that we're talking about as well. Um, the ecosystem surrounding the game industry continues to evolve and expand as more sophisticated tools and technologies become available. As such, video games continue to grow as a major medium for gamers globally, with access to a vast range of gaming experiences and communities becoming more diverse and attainable. Attainable, meaning basically they can reach more people than ever before
Mhm.
with games, which is it completely aligns with Xbox's vision, with what they've been talking about all along, with not being restricted to a platform and developing this ecosystem. And before it was too soon for people to see, but you got to remember that Xbox is the one building the tech. right? They were behind the tech, behind a lot of these things that you're seeing with
Yeah.
cloud and everything. So they saw things before anybody else could, right? So this proposed alliance represents Sega looking ahead. And by working, again, looking ahead, it refers to the future. This is not a short-term, near thing. This is going to be, I'm thinking years away still.
Mhm.
Sega looking ahead, and by working with Microsoft to anticipate such trends as they accelerate further in the future. So how can Sega anticipate such trends? Well, Microsoft is developing those trends. They're developing the game development technology within the cloud. They have Azure. Sega is getting in earlier by having a stronger partnership with Microsoft here. The goal is to optimize development processes and continue to bring high quality experiences to players using Azure cloud technologies. Azure is Microsoft's cloud technology, again, that we keep referring to. Microsoft and Sega have agreed upon the foundation for this alliance, and through mutual cooperation, will look to build further. Did they misspell further there? Or is that am I wrong? Anyway, we'll look to build further technological evolutions with areas such as the network infrastructure and communication tools required for global online services being a key priority. Additionally,
Mhm.
by shifting to a next generation development platform, again, this is kind of what we're talking about with the cloud development and stuff like this, Sega can effectively adapt to diversifying work styles and potential infrastructure changes. Work from home stuff,
Mhm.
make it a lot easier. And there's a lot going on here, man. There's a lot going on here. But I found most interesting the comments from the president and COO, Yukio. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Sugino, Yukio
Mhm.
Sugino. Um, he says, "We are very pleased to announce today that we are considering a strategic alliance with Microsoft to help develop Sega's new Super Game initiative." And that seems like immediately that's what he's all about. Super Game initiative, right? Building new games. This is about building new types of games that they haven't been able to create before, right? Um, as well as build a next generation game development environment, shifting the way that they develop games, right?
Mhm.
Using cloud and all these things that are going to make those super games more possible. By considering a strategic partnership with Microsoft, we seek to further advance our game development so that our titles, this is the key thing for me, so that our titles can be enjoyed by fans all over the world. So when you look at that sentence and you realize what Xbox is building with the cloud, building with Game Pass, building with all these things, you're trying to reach a wider audience all over the world. That's that speaks to the avenue. Remember, Xbox has been talking about billions of gamers out there that they're
Yeah.
trying to reach. This aligns with that vision.
Mhm.
Making a partnership with them is also, it goes hand in hand for me. In this regard, we aim to build an alliance that utilizes both Sega's powerful game development capabilities and Microsoft's cutting edge tech and development environment. Um, and then look who this is. Wow, Sarah Bond from Microsoft. Sega has played such an iconic role in the gaming industry and has been a tremendous partner over the years. Yeah, again, they've already been partners, right?
Yeah.
They've already worked together. This is stronger than that, right? This is something more that was worthy of an announcement. Okay,
Mhm.
Sega and Xbox don't have to say, "Hey, we're looking to build some kind of game together in the future," or whatever. Like they do that all the time, right? They get made with like smaller press releases, not stuff from the president of the company. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like this is a stronger thing that's a little bit more of a hand in hand type arrangement, it seems. So we look forward to working together as they explore new ways to create unique gaming experiences for the future using Microsoft Cloud technologies. Together, we will reimagine how games get built, hosted, and operated. So, Sega games being built on Xbox or Microsoft cloud technology, Sega games being hosted on Microsoft Azure servers and cloud technology, and operated using Xbox, Microsoft's Azure cloud technologies, with a
Hmm.
goal of adding more value to players and Sega alike. Now, when the interesting thing here from Sarah, with a goal of adding more value to players. What
Yeah.
does that sound like? And Sega. She adds and Sega. She's not including adding more value to Sega. She's saying add more value to players and Sega. Now you got to think, what's in Microsoft's interest for adding value to players? Is it every player, or do you think it's mainly players that play in the Microsoft ecosystem?
Definitely ones in the ecosystem. But they don't want to wall it off in that regard. I mean,
Yeah.
they have to kind of keep things open. Like, to my understanding, whenever you do this type of announcement, it's more of like kind of like pre-legalese before papers are signed. And no, I'm not talking acquisition or anything like that. Like whenever there's a major investment in one company or another, contract or some sort of agreement like this, it has to be public when the companies are traded publicly. So it can't be something that's like behind the scenes, because investors are going to wonder, well, why is money being funneled to this, or what is this new revenue stream coming from these guys over here? We're not aware of any of this. So stuff like this has to kind of be announced or reported. So there, it's going to be like, I scratch your back, you scratch my back. Especially, I consider with Sarah being the one that they're talk or speaking with or have listed on that announcement. I still think it's going to wind up being something where we see more of their games coming to Game Pass. Um, as you were saying, with the cloud services, it'll help them with something possibly in the future on Sega's end. And I'm thinking probably more local in their area, as far as like in Japan, possibly a streaming service for themselves. Um, I think the big thing is going to be the way Xbox has been working lately with GameStack, and it's one of those things that not a lot of people have been talking about. GameStack before had various game engine related things, both server end and development end. With GameStack, they are also now, since they've acquired Bethesda, they have a few more engines at their disposal for others to have at their disposal as well. So Microsoft isn't necessarily going to wall off id Tech or some of their other engine technologies from partners or alliances. They may allow them to
Yeah.
use it. In turn, they either get revenue from that, or in turn they get
Right.
the benefits of it being on their service. So there's going to be some back scratching on both sides. But I think when you pointed out, when the players benefit, I think they're mainly calling out to the players that are subscribed in their ecosystem, whether they're Xbox Live, Xbox Game Pass, or just
Yeah.
not in a subscription service but purchasing the games. I could foresee an expansion on the catalog that already exists on the Xbox store.
Yeah. I I agree with all that, man. I think that from Microsoft's perspective, it's all business, right? Like in doing these deals, and you're trying to basically you're getting on the ground floor of gaming in the
Mhm.
future by making these partnerships, right? Not just your ecosystem, but from them, I think their ecosystem obviously comes first from an interest point of view, right? Because why not host all of the technology and get paid by the company, and then
Yeah,
also get paid by the players that are subscribing to the service, right? It's like,
yeah,
um, it shows the vision, why they basically are number one in the world right now as far as value. All right, so I wanted to show this. Sarah Bond says, my love for Sega and their games dates back to playing on my Dreamcast. It's been a delight to lead our partnership with Sega, and I'm thrilled to take it to the next level. Creating novel gaming experiences using the power of Azure. Can't wait to share more in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this goes deeper than like everybody referring to that Sony thing. And I referred to it. The first thing I said on Twitter and the first thing I noticed, the language was a lot the same. But I followed it directly up with there's one primary difference. Because even though Sony's using the servers and has their access to the servers, which I don't even know if they're being utilized by them right now, but they had a similar statement to this with Satya Nadella involved a couple years ago, right? A couple key differences. It was Satya Nadella involved, not somebody working with Xbox. Sarah Bond, what is her title? It says Mama Xbox. What is her actual title? I don't know. Like somebody in the chat help me out with her actual title. But like
I think she's like a VP of
Xbox.
publishing or something along those lines.
Right. She's driving like this partnership, right? She's leading the partnership, and they're looking forward to creating novel gaming experiences, creating novel gaming experiences. That makes me think together.
Yeah.
Right. Can't wait to share more in the future, which means they're going to have more things to announce, which is also exciting. Again, like the other key thing is Sony is their own platform, right? So you're making a deal with Sony. It's for like Sony's platform. If they're using your stuff, you know, they're going to use it, and there's no other aspects really for that other than a potentially in the long-term future you would hope to get Game Pass on PlayStation. Like I would say like something like that. I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
But as far as Sega, a deal like this, announcing it with Sega, Sega's third party. They can shift. They can make games exclusive to certain platforms. They can put all their games on Game Pass. They can do all these things, and all that stuff can be negotiated and dealt with these larger deals. And this was announced as an alliance. It seems like it's the start of something more.
Yeah.
When she is leading, leading their partnership, and excited to take it to the next level, stronger than it ever has been. Creating novel gaming experiences using the power of Azure. So I don't think that this is just about Azure, right?
No.
I at first I was like Azure, you know, like I'm like, okay, Azure, Sony. I think there's more here with the development of games, and something I've seen referenced a couple times was IP.
Yeah.
And the IP came from the mouth of Sega. So, what else do we have? I got another one for you. Another interesting tweet. It's coming from an Xbox first-party developer. And you guys be ready for PM in the PM on Thursday. Okay? Because Pong and I are going to have a lot to say on this. All right, so blah, blah, blah. Where is this tweet? I know I shared it. Bear with me, guys.
Okay, Asante put the info as far as Sarah's title, corporate vice president.
Corporate vice president of Xbox, correct?
Yeah.
Right. So people saying, hey, this doesn't have anything to do with Xbox. Guess who's leading the partnership with Sega? The corporate vice president of Xbox. Does anybody else find that interesting? You know that it's not somebody else, right?
Yeah.
It's not when Satya Nadella does it, right, and it's two business heads speaking together, and it's like, okay, we're gonna make this deal work with the cloud, but you're dealing directly with Xbox here. I think that was a very key factor. Would
Yeah.
you say so? Let's see. Where is this tweet? Obsidian, come on. They didn't delete it, did they? Do you know the tweet I'm referring to? Fuzzy?
Which dev was it that made the tweet?
It was Obsidian.
I don't think I
I,
saw that one.
I had it ready. I'm gonna bring it up. I lost it. I don't know, like if they deleted it, that'd be crazy. I don't think they did.
If they deleted it, then there's probably more smoke or
Yeah.
more fire than smoke right now. um,
Okay. You know what? When all else fails, I'm gonna search Twitter for it. And okay, Obsidian. Okay. Leave it to Pong Soul. All right. He took a screenshot of it. All right, Pong. I'm gonna bring this up. Okay, this was crazy. I couldn't believe when I saw this.
a AAA Sonic game.
No, something even more interesting. You know what? I tweeted it. Okay, all I need to do is go back and look at my tweets. Okay, here we go. Check this out. You want to find something interesting?
Mm-hmm.
Look no further than Obsidian. Sorry it's taking me so long. All right. So, back in 2017, right? A lot of the news at the time was with Sega, like, and all these other companies and stuff. Like, there was an article, Sega basically reviving of major IPs. So, this goes in line with them mentioning IPs again. Okay, so this goes to an article from Gamatsu. Sega planning revival of major IPs. Okay. Sega is planning the revival of major IPs according to its Road to 2020 business presentation. Okay, so create titles that will become global hits. To do this, they plan on reviving past IPs and actively utilizing existing IPs, new IPs, and external IPs, and maximizing the value of said IPs by expanding development channels, mobile devices, PC, and game consoles, and regions of their respective IPs development for a global simultaneous release. Jesus, does this like kind of thought process sound familiar?
Yeah.
That's absolutely crazy. Related content. 17 hours ago, Sega and Microsoft announced strategic alliance to create new titles for Sega in next-gen development environment built on Azure. Elsewhere in the report, Sega said the sales of Persona 5, Total Warhammer, blah 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 blah. Yeah, Total War. Yeah, Sega Company Heroes, Total War. They're more than just Sonic. Everybody, right?
Yeah.
I just find this absolutely fascinating. Okay, so then you go on to the actual tweet from Obsidian back in 2017 saying, "You don't say." What if now there's a cult classic game that was, I would say, underfunded, didn't have as much time as it needed to, all these things, that was published by Sega and developed by Obsidian. Do you know what game that is, Jez? I mean, not Jez. I'm going to refer to Jez in a second. Fuzzy?
Alpha Protocol.
Yeah, I got Jez in my mind because I'm about to show Jez something Jez said in a little bit. Yes, Alpha Protocol. What
Which
if?
is, well, it's funny you mention that. It's pinned in Obsidian's tweet with them their 18 years of history. That's one of the games that is pinned there as well. So
Yeah, it's a near and dear game to Obsidian. That's I've said it on multiple times on Xbox Ultimate and other podcasts. Like, if somehow when they were talking about possibilities of working with Sega partnerships and all these things, it entered my mind. If they bought Sega, that would possibly mean the return of Alpha Protocol, because Xbox owns Obsidian. Now, this is not an acquisition of Sega, but if you say they're working together to develop new games, then IP could be a part of that, and an IP that and development relationship you could have could be something in the form of Obsidian. Now, this tweet was from back in 2017. I'm curious if at the time, remember a couple years ago, also you had Aaron Greenberg already making like Sonic cocktails and all of these things. Or Aaron Greenberg posted a picture of a of a hedgehog, and then you had Sega making green cocktails with Sonic. I think something here has been kind of brewing for a while.
yeah,
And it's kind of like they're announcing the engagement, right? Or they're announcing their engagement, or they're announcing their partnership right now. Okay, and this has been in the works. Now, who knows? Like, because Obsidian, this is 2017. I believe they got acquired in 18 or 19, right? But those talks had to already have been in the works as well. Okay. Like, these deals don't happen overnight.
no,
So you got to think back to 2017, which would like seems like forever ago, but it's only 4 years ago, right? And think back, what was Obsidian thinking about? What was Sega thinking about? Because you already see that announcement about what their plans were from Gamatsu. Then you also add to the fact of Xbox and Microsoft and Azure and all that stuff, right? And add it all together, next gen game development working together to bring new games. Then Obsidian goes on to say in a follow up, what we've learned, a lot of love for Alpha Protocol still. Thank you. And us doing Phantasy Star or Shining Force sounds great. You're all glorious. I don't think that's going to happen. But the Alpha Protocol thing, very possible. Now, I'm going to go to one more tweet here that I found very interesting. This just happened, I think, this morning. Hey, Jez, from Windows Central, who's been known to know a thing or two. Now, I'm not saying he's alluding to any kind of inside information here or anything, right? I'm not saying that. I don't think he's said that. I'm curious if he's going to say anything regarding this tweet in the future. But shout out to Jez, Windows Central, who is gets some information at times. He made this tweet at 8:14 a.m. My time today. Alpha Protocol. That's all it says.
Yeah.
Anybody else find that like somewhat interesting? I don't know. Do you find that interesting, Fuzzy? Like,
yeah. See, I know sometimes Jez will play games and put things out there that he hopes and dreams or wishes come true.
Yeah, maybe this is something he wants to see, right? It could be.
And then other times he puts stuff that he's already heard, but now since other stuff is coming out, it's not like he's breaking the trust or confidentiality that somebody may have hinted to him about something. So it is interesting. I know he was also kind of like poking fun at those when they were talking about like Xbox acquiring Sega way back when, but I think he kind of wants or wanted something along those lines, but maybe he heard some things in the background and just couldn't, speak on those. But I would say, considering that Obsidian is part of the family already, you have an alliance with Sega. Um, I think that very much might be something that Obsidian might have one of its teams working on. Like, didn't they announce like less than a month ago that they have a plan already in place that they're going to release a new game every year for the next 7 years?
Yeah.
So if they already have their machine oiled and ready to go, where they can fire off a game every year for the next 7 years, this might already be one of those in the chamber type of thing. So,
And we do know there's one game that they're working on that we don't know what it is.
yeah,
There's one more project right now.
mm-hmm.
Absolutely very interesting. I think that, hey, there's going to be more to this to come from the future. Like they keep saying, like I've seen a couple other people that it seem in the know that there's going to be more information to come,
Mm-hmm.
right, from this as well, which is to me that leads to something exciting as well. That means they have more things. And now this was the kind of official press release,
Mm-hmm.
but I believe the more things will be coming from Xbox.
Yeah.
With some kind of announcement of something, right? This to me seems like a preparation announcement,
Yeah.
right? A preparation to the fans out there, to the shareholders, to investors, to other gaming companies, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of that kind of stuff. Now, it could benefit Xbox by saying, "Hey, we're working with Sega," and that way, Sega's working with them. Maybe we should work with them too. All that kind of stuff, right? It makes sense.
Yeah.
But this is coming from Xbox. Sarah Bond is leading this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Clowns, hanging out. Pixelbit, hanging out. Shout out to you guys. There's a lot here for me to look at this as partly Xbox involvement, right? Not just like the Satya Nadella Sony thing that happened before now,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you're seeing this and it's like, okay, more to come soon. And that comes from Sarah Bond. There's more, can't wait to share more with you. I can't wait to see what that more is.
Yeah.
And the KhAos ThEory makes a good point, and this is where I was going with this. Officially, Microsoft hasn't said what they're getting in the deal. Strategic alliances are corporate speech for you scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. Yeah. Now, it could be something as simple as money, right? It could be something as simple as money. It could be something as simple as, hey, we're going to be using your services to host our games in the future, and we're going to be hiring you for that or using your tools, right? And then in turn, like, let us in early on these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's it though, because the way that it's being handled from Sarah Bond,
Yeah.
right? That's the key. That's the key. Then you dive deep and you kind of start looking for things like the Obsidian stuff, and shout out to Pong. And it seems like there's more here with more to share soon. Share soon. Again, that's coming from Xbox because that's Sarah Bond speaking. Right? So what is that share soon? What is that next announcement going to be? What is that more information? Can't wait to find out. But I'm sitting on pins and needles waiting now for some more news.
Yeah, it's real interesting considering the 20th anniversary is midpoint this month. A lot of us were thinking that the Halo unveiling of the campaign was going to be saved for that. They've already wowed us with that a couple of weeks early. This week, we get some news about a strategic alliance. I know there's a lot of people out there that want to downplay it. Oh, it's nothing different than Sony, but it's like you said, Sarabon being in the picture, being the one kind of heading this. It definitely hints to more gaming related benefit on the Xbox end of things to some extent. Just call it a hunch at that point. But if they possibly, well, they said they're not going to show anything new at the 20th anniversary, but then again, them working with Sega isn't really new. And if they unveil it before the 20th anniversary show and they just expand on it, then that could be something for the show as well. But I'm thinking it's either the 20th anniversary that they announce more VGAs, but I think the VGAs is more so for like game trailers, upcoming games themselves, which they could shock us or shock the world with Alpha Protocol trailer or something, or we may have to wait until E3 next year. But in any event, this is exciting news. No matter how you look at it, more gaming alliances between, iconic brands. You can't get any better than this. I mean, it's exciting times. Whether we get something Sonic related, Alpha Protocol related, more games coming to Game Pass, any of the above is exciting.
Yeah. As KhAos says, she's VP of Xbox. That's her title. I mean, VP of Xbox is leading this partnership. Yeah. So also, all right, you want to. CLoWnZ makes a great point. You remember when we were referencing all those blue jackets before, kind of teasing them? Hey, there's a reason for all these blue jackets, and I think I can't remember at the time which company. I think it was Take-Two we were all referring to. This has got to be something with Take-Two. Like Phil was in the interview with the blue jacket, then he showed up again with the blue jacket, and somebody else wore a blue jacket, and it's like all the exact same shade of blue, right? And it was like weird because it's like it's not really his color. He usually doesn't wear stuff like it. Just kind of was out of place.
Yeah.
So CLoWnZ goes on to say, don't forget all those blue jackets they were wearing a while ago. But you think Sega is developing a big online MMO super game built on Azure, which could mean exclusive as well. Atlas side, baby. Hey, maybe more of the portfolio coming to Game Pass. Maybe they're trying to reach that larger audience as well, which was referenced to, which I pointed out to on Twitter a couple times. That larger audience is something you get with Game Pass, with all of the you got to get access to the cloud, all of that stuff. Now, the other thing, a key factor here, Sega said 2017 looking for mobile, PC, all that stuff. Where is Game Pass? Where is Xbox ecosystem and platform? It's on all of those things, right? Azure is on all of those things, right? So you're aligning there with that stuff. You're aligning in vision, okay? The other key factor with reaching that many gamers, right, is price. Okay, if you have $60, $70 price tags and you're trying to reach 3 billion gamers or whatever crazy numbers they're throwing out there, you're not going to do it selling games like that. Yeah. Apple is the number one revenue leader in gaming. They don't even make games really, like, and they sell games that are like $1 and free to play. They have monetization stuff, right? Like all over the place, right? So entry point has always been a limiting factor. A $500 entry point for PlayStation, they're seeing that as now an obstacle, and they're looking beyond that, right? Xbox saw that a while ago. $500 entry point into an ecosystem is too high. You're not going to grow beyond a certain amount, right? So you expand that to PC, you expand it to mobile, you expand it to all these things. You invent the cloud technology that's going to support all of this and allow for games to be played higher quality than they even can be locally. Now we're seeing the infancy of that now, right? But you got to think, okay, cloud gaming 5 years from now isn't going to be what it is today, right?
Yeah.
So it's really interesting when you look at all these things and start piecing things together. If you look at how they can reach that many gamers, you're looking at that ecosystem that Xbox is already building, and people are seeing it. We talked about this numerous times before. Future gaming, golden age of gaming, investments are higher, accessibility is easier. Accessibility is lower, right? Like you're not gonna have to jump through hoops. There's easier avenues to access your content, to be able to play your content, all these things. And now we're gonna get super games. So CLoWnZ making a prediction. I think he says Sega plus Atlas equals Game Pass Ultimate exclusive mobile gaming hot in Asia, massive MMO, and don't forget Atlas is hot in Asia. So MMORPG could be a beautiful start to a long exclusivity. You never know.
Yeah.
Could be. Sega's got a lot of development talent from some of the subsidiaries and all these things. So who knows exactly what they could be building, what they're working with. But I think a lot of people hear Sega think it's Sonic immediately. It's so much more than that. And
Well, I think
that's
they
one of
even have
my
they
dream
they have
acquisitions.
was it Virtual Fighter?
All the
Not a
Virtua
remaster,
series.
but they're making a new Virtual Fighter, I believe, and I think that
Right.
might be coming to PlayStation first. But nonetheless, they were going to revisit some of their older IPs.
Yeah, you got Virtua Fighter, you had Virtua Cop, Virtua Tennis, all those Virtua games. And again, Sega's saying they're bringing back and revisiting old IP, which is something we've all wanted from Sega for a long time.
Yeah,
Skies of Arcadia, I can dream, right?
yeah.
Development partners, all these things. Hey, the future's bright. We'll see what it turns into. More to share in the future, they say. So that alludes to something more than just what they told us today as well. So I'm excited to see what that is. But I want to thank Fuzzy for hanging out with me for this discussion. And any last thoughts about this, Fuzzy?
Whew. I just hope one of my dreams is that they revisit Altered Beast in a modern viewpoint. Like I know it seemed like kind of like a silly launch game for Genesis. It was pretty cool for the time, but just imagine a reimagining of that. That's kind of what I'm hoping as a revisited IP. But that's just one of many. But I'm hoping this leads to something either an addition or add on into Game Pass, or revisiting some of the IPs like what do you call them, Alpha Protocol. So that would be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Alpha Protocol, the huge if it was invested in, like it would be absolutely insane, right?
Yeah.
Big time. Yeah, I think because that IP held so much potential, right? It just didn't have um, it didn't hit like they wanted it to. Now it's still a cult classic, right?
Mhm.
But it's one of those cult classics because of the potential it had, not necessarily the quality it launched with. Where it kind of like everybody was looking at it as this Mass Effect game, but like spies, right?
Yeah.
And that's what everybody wanted because like Obsidian had the history of being like a BioWare type dev, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? And this was like the spy RPG, and it just didn't hit it. And a lot of it was excellent, and I loved the game, right? But if it had more dev time, it had more funding, it with the technology, especially of today, I could imagine what that game could be. It just would blow my mind. I want it. I want it. Give it to me. All right. Thanks, Fuzzy. Hey, tell everybody where they can find you, bro.
Well, thank you for having me. Thanks to the chat for joining us. This was awesome. You guys can find me on Twitter at fuzzy_Belvedere, on FSP, Fun Speculation Podcast, on Saturdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Mav and Key. going over all platforms of games and what we've been playing for the for that past week, and any gaming news related. And you can also catch me on the Shop Podcast at, I believe this weekend it's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with PTK Blam, Pong Soul, and Centurion 1307. Just chopping it up, talking about upcoming Xbox news and some of the games we've played and things along those lines. So always a good time. Glad to be here, and possibly catch me here next week as well on Tidbits. Always love doing this with Mav, going over the games of the week, and man, this was fun.
Heck yeah, dude. Thank you again for always doing this with me, and also on FSP. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much. Hey, shout out to you, 3-bit. I see you got here. Sorry you missed it, bro. Louis, thank you. Tony Grasso, Black Sausage, uh, Clowns, Army Vet, KhAos Digital Tiger, Shizno, OCDgamer, Doom Reaper, Pixel Bit, Back from Dead. Geez, lots of awesome people here. I'm sorry if I didn't get to your name, but I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in to what we do here on Fun Speculation, and I will see you next time. Take it easy.
Later.